All right, we are getting into a rye whiskey that I have never tried. Will it be any good? Let's find out. Hey everybody, and thank you so much for joining me today here on Blind Whiskey Reviews. Now, today we will be reviewing another whiskey from this company. And the reason I say this company is I have been called out by a few individuals in the last couple of videos I did by whiskeys from this company, saying that I have grossly mispronounced what I said was Traverse City Whiskey Company. Now, Enrico Juan, Deem Armstrong, and Mark Wilson all decided to come on my videos and kindly call me out to tell me that I was mispronouncing the name of this city and this company. So apparently, and I'm not 100% on this, it is either Traverse or Traverse or Traverse. I don't know. I really just don't know. So until I find out the correct pronunciation, we're going to call this T-City Whiskey Company. So that way I don't get it wrong again. So anyways, thank you guys for calling me out. Not mad at you. I appreciate the correction. Don't want to be sitting here and saying things wrong. So I'm glad you guys commented in the comments down below to let me know I had it wrong. But anyways, we will be reviewing their, this is a distinct blend of 100% rye and straight rye whiskeys. Their North Coast Rye, which is bottled at 45% alcohol by volume, which is 90 proof. And it doesn't have much other info on here other than to say it's distilled from premium rye and malted barley. One thing I did notice on this bottle that it doesn't say on some of the other bottles, that it says distilled and bottled by the T-City Whiskey Company. And the other one said produced and bottled. So it makes me potentially believe that the ones that say produced are whiskeys that, at least in some portion, are sourced. So we'll have to figure that out as we go down the line. This one is obviously distilled by them because it very specifically says so. So that definitely makes me believe the other ones are not. So we'll take that for what it will. We will find out more information coming down. I'm really hoping to get one of the guys from the company to come on the channel and do a little talking with us and give us some information about the whiskeys that they're making. So hopefully we'll get them to clear that up along with how we pronounce the name of their company. Hey everybody, I didn't have this information when I shot this video, but tonight, live at 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern, Chris Fredrickson, the co-founder of Traverse City Whiskey Company, is going to be joining me to drink a little whiskey, have a little conversation, and hopefully answer some more questions about their products. So, hopefully you can join me tonight live. If for some reason you can't make it, I will link the replay up here. Obviously you won't be able to catch that till tomorrow, but that's here nor there. If you have any questions for Chris, definitely leave a comment down below or send me an email at blindwhiskeyreviews@gmail.com, and I'll do my very best to ask Chris those questions tonight. I hope you guys can make it, and let's get on to the review. All right, now we got a glass. We can get into this bottle. Mild little pop. Synthetic cork on this one. Smells like pretty sweet and fruity up front, which isn't too off the profile for a younger, what I would imagine is a younger rye whiskey. There's no age statement on here, so I'm not really sure how old it is. I would imagine it's probably not more than, especially if they're distilling it, it's probably like a 2-year rye, if I'm just guessing based on nothing else other than a guess. If they don't have, you know, a 3-year or 4-year-old bourbon ready, they're probably not having a 3 or 4-year-old rye ready. So that's why I'm assuming it's maybe a 2-year-old. Got some sweet light fruit notes. A bit of that grassy rye character, kind of a young rye. Bit of spice, bit of black pepper. I thought I might have picked up a hint of dill, but it's not there right now. It's definitely some fruity notes all the way through though. A little bit of a floral character. Smells interesting. Like I said, it does definitely smell like a younger rye. So let's see how it tastes. Cheers. All right, so up front, you definitely have some of those light fruity notes, kind of like a crisp apple, even a little bit like a Granny Smith type apple. It's got a little bit of that kind of sourish bite to it. It's almost got a hint of a little bit of, and I've tasted this in other young ryes before, where it's got a hint of like orchard fruit. Like it's got like almost like a peach-like quality to it. And I actually found that in their barrel-proof bourbon. I found a little hint of that peach kind of quality. That's definitely here, a little bit more prevalent up front. Let's get a little more tasting here. Yeah, that peach character kind of is pretty prevalent the entire way through. Once you hit the middle of your palate, as it's kind of transitioning to the back of the palate, you pick up a couple of those spicy notes. This isn't an incredibly spicy rye. You get a little bit of black pepper, a little bit of herbal spice, like maybe some spearmint, like something like sage or something. There's kind of like that herbal quality to it. There's a little bit of a bitterness on the back end. Doesn't necessarily feel oaky to me. I'm not getting like any of those oaky kind of tannic qualities, but there's a touch of bitterness there. You still get some of those lingering fruit characters kind of all the way through the palate, which is nice. It kind of balances it out pretty nicely. Let's get one more taste. Getting a couple more of those like rye qualities now. There's a little bit more of that black pepper. It's pretty nice. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan typically of young ryes. Not that rye tends to age quicker than bourbon does, but I kind of feel like rye really finds its place in that like 4 or 5 year old range, 6-year-old range. I think it really comes home in that time period. Like I said, on a whiskey like this, which I'm anticipating is maybe in that 2 to 3 year old range, I feel like it's a little bit young, but I'm curious to see what it does once it opens up a little bit. It actually is very nice and drinkable. It's got some nice qualities there. It isn't overly grassy and off-putting where the youth is making it something that is hard to drink. Definitely isn't that. So I'm curious to see what a little bit of airtime does to it. So as we always do in these reviews, we'll be giving it 20 or 30 minutes in the glass, and before we come back, retaste it and get our notes to see kind of potentially what some airtime might do for this bottle in the future. Just a hint. We will be doing a blind review down the line of this, as I will be doing with all their other whiskeys. So in a few weeks after this had a little bit of time to breathe, I'll be pouring a sample and we'll be using that sample for the blind review. But for right now, let's give it the 20 or 30 minutes and get a hint at what this is going to taste like after it's had a few weeks of airtime. So be back in a sec. All right, we are back, and the whiskey's been in the glass for right about 20 minutes. So let's see if a little bit of airtime has kind of helped this whiskey develop a little bit here. Pretty similar nose. Got a little more sweetness on the nose, actually. I don't know if my nose is playing tricks on me, but I almost smell like maple on the nose right now. It's like a really like maple sweetness there. If that comes across on the palate, that might be a game changer. But let's see how it's tasting. I can't say that I'm tasting maple, but I do feel like it kind of the airtime brought a little bit more depth to the whiskey, just a touch, not a lot. But if that's a hint at what's going to happen in a few weeks, I'm really curious to see how this whiskey does after it's had a little bit of airtime, because it went from being really on the light side of flavors in terms of not like light in flavor, like it doesn't have a lot of flavor, but light on the like lighter end, not deep dark flavors. It went from those lighter notes and kind of brought it into that mid-range realm. We're not getting deep dark notes by any means, but we're getting some more kind of middling richness here, which I like. A lot of the same flavors other than that. It just got just a touch richer. Maybe like a little bit more of a floral character came forward. The spices on the back are about the same. The front end is about the same. We still got that nice kind of like peach-like quality through the palate. For a young rye whiskey, I think it's pretty darn good. I like the flavors that are here. I like that It's got a reasonable amount of complexity. Don't get me wrong, it's not overly complex by any stretch, but it's got a reasonable amount of complexity. The flavors that are here are nice. They're well balanced. It doesn't taste overly young, so it's hard to drink. So I am enjoying this. For a score, look, like I said, it's a young rye. It's not overly complex, but I think it is actually pretty solid for what it is. And I'm going to give it, I was going to give it an 80, but I'm feeling like maybe it deserves an 81. I like that little bit of extra depth that kind of came once the airtime came. So I have a lot of hopes for this maybe improving even a little bit more after it gets a little bit of airtime. But for me, this is going to be an 81 for our non-blind review, and we'll see how that compares to our blind review down the line. If you guys have had the opportunity to try any of the Tea City whiskeys, definitely leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think of any of them. I've enjoyed all the ones that I've tried so far. I think my favorite's probably been the barrel proof, but we'll have to see how the straight bourbon does next week. So that one's coming to you guys next week. Definitely keep an eye out for that. If you tell me which one is your favorite in the comments down below if you've had the opportunity to try it. As always, if you guys want to follow me on Instagram and Twitter, you can go to @blind_reviews. You can also catch me on Instagram @missionbottlekill, where I'm posting pictures of people killing all kinds of great bottles of whiskey. And if you want me to repost your pic, tag @missionbottlekill in your post. You can also send me an email at blindwhiskeyreviews, that's whiskey with an E, @gmail.com. And until next time, cheers.